reason that there are no toilets
In any of the bathrooms.
in any of the bathrooms is because if I'm having a bath, I do not want people coming in and having a dump or a wee. I mean, I just don't want
It's very unhygienic.
Would you want that, Michael? And I said, no, I wouldn't want it either. But
Have you ever
I
heard
don't
of a
know
lock?
anyone who would come in to my bathroom while I was in there having a bath and would sit down on the lavatory and have a dump.
DLs, welcome back to the Wittering Whitehalls from Whitehall Towers on a slightly grey day. So let's have a sneak peek at what's to come. We talk about Cybertrucks and somehow end up at the beach.
I don't understand how one expects to be taken seriously arriving in one.
We return once again to initialisms because we love them. What does WFH mean, Michael?
Wait for help.
And we meet a fellow television ranter. I am wearing, for those of you just listening, not on YouTube, I'm wearing Peggy's choice of the £25 dresses. Actually, I think they were $24.99, therefore 4 for under £100. It's pink. It's very pink. And that's why she liked it. Because, of course, she's 4.5. So anything pink gets her vote. And when I picked out the others, she said, they're not as nice as the pink one, Gramsa. I said, no, I'm going to get the pink one, Pegs. She said, yes, I think the pink one is the best. So here I am, Michael, a vision in pink. Anything to say about this dress? Because last week you called it a tablecloth, a Dutch tablecloth. This week, it's pink.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a real ringing endorsement.
No, I think it's what my mother would have called useful.
It is very useful.
Yes, my mother used to say, oh, that dress will be useful.
Would she have called it a day dress?
She might have done.
Yeah, bless her. Nora.
So I would say that will be useful for you.
But there's a massive but in the middle of that sentence.
No, it's
okay. Well, I like it, and Peggy likes it.
You look lovely in it, Deb.
Perhaps you could explain to Peggy your reservations when you next see her. What I will not be doing is wearing this on the tour because it's a summer dress, and obviously we're now into the autumn, or nearly into the autumn. And what will be going through the autumn, of course, is the Wittering Whitehalls Barely Alive. Yes, the tour. It starts this week. We're excited, Michael Whitehall, aren't we?
We are. We're excited.
And raring to go.
Yeah. And we are also hoping that by the time we get there, we'll also be...
Sold out.
Sold out.
Exactly. Could you tell this face, could you just literally exude excitement through your facial expression? There we go. That's the best we can do, DLs.
We are excited.
Yes!
That we are nearly sold out. But there are still a few
tickets available.
Just a few left.
The witteringwhitehals.co.uk.
Yes.
You've got to be there because we've got... we're basically going to do the pod in the first half. The second half, boy, have we got some treats for you, including a showstopper from Michael Whitehall.
I've got a big showstopper.
You have got to be there with us because we want to say hello as well.
Doing something very surprising.
Yes. You'll
on
like
stage.
it. You'll like it. Get on with the purchasing of the tickets because you know you want to. Yes. Now, I'm going to have to go back to Seaview because I forgot one very key situation, one event that I did with Peggy and Woody. Because for the first few days of our trip to Seaview, the weather was not great, was it, Michael?
It was not.
No. I would say grey, cloudy, disappointing, and actually quite cold to the point that you had thrown a cardigan into the back of the car as a sort of parting thought, hadn't you?
I had.
Boy, did you...
Did I need it?
Jolly pleased about that. Yeah.
Cardigans, vests.
Yeah.
Sweaters.
Yeah. They were all thrown in as a last minute thought because when we left London it was sunny. By the time we got to Seaview it was very overcast.
I bought 3 sun hats with me.
Yeah.
Which were of no use at all.
Right, yeah.
Because there was no sun.
Well, there was sun ultimately, of course. You
Ultimately,
did get
it was
your
beautiful.
usage out of the sun hats. And actually, we are, sorry, just looking something up here. We are going to do an email later in this episode where I'm going to come back to an initialism that very much impacted our trip to Seaview. But I'm going to come back to that in another email. For the moment, I just want to say that necessity being the mother of invention, I needed to find things to do with Peggy and Woody. One of the things I found to do, and I was very much hoping that Mr. Whitehall would join me in this endeavour, but he decided not to, was the final and last and probably soon to not be there at all commercial hovercraft service runs between Southsea and the Isle of Wight. It's very exciting. I'm obsessed with hovercrafts. I find them absolutely fascinating. I'm very sad that there was just no way they did try and scale up the hovercraft service. Do you remember they used to have a cross-channel one?
Mm-hmm.
So I happened to be in Ryde with Peggy and Woody when this hovercraft actually took off, as it were, because they do call them flights. And they were fascinated by it. Do you remember I parked up in the car park of the hoppercraft, as they called it.
Yeah,
you sat in the car reading your paper, and we watched the hoppercraft go out. And they said, "Can we go on the hoppercraft?" And I said, "You betcha we're going on the hoppercraft." So I then went back to the annex, booked some tickets for the following day.
Sadly, I discovered I had a diary clash.
You had a big diary clash, yeah.
So had to pull out at the last minute.
Yeah.
And
yeah. But
you headed off.
Woody, Peggy and I headed off to the hoppercraft with some snacks in a backpack, because you can't go anywhere without a snack with a 4 and a 2-year-old. Some apple juices. And we took the hoppercraft to Southsea. We then got off the hoppercraft, took some pictures of them with the hoppercraft, went back into the terminal and got back on the same hoppercraft and came back. It was very exciting. Mm-hmm. I think I was probably more excited than they were, but they have now been on a hoppercraft, and it was very, very, very exciting. It was 2 hours of my life that was never going to be wasted. Loved it.
I think they were probably a little young to appreciate the sort of mechanical thing about the hoppercraft.
It's very dramatic when they blow up that
How
cushion.
How old is Woody again?
2.
2.
Yeah, but he does like a vehicle, you see. He loves a vehicle. Shall we, as they say, Michael Whitehall, get on with an email which is sort of linked to what we've just been talking about, which is why I told the story, because I knew what email was coming up. This one here, please, sir.
A big hello from the Commonwealth.
Oh, hello.
I am a doddle or damn, as my fellow Canadian suggested some weeks back.
PPJ, remind me, damn.
Dear audience members.
Right. And then I was going to try and get an E on the end to make it dames. Yeah. Okay, got it.
I have been listening to your lovely podcast since the very beginning and have enjoyed every moment.
Oh, bless.
Thank you.
Bless, bless, bless.
Recently, I have been re-listening to old episodes to distract my mind from the impending end of my maternity leave.
Wow.
And keep my daughter and I company as we tool around...
Toot.
Oh, sorry, it was a tool.
No.
As we toot around the town where we live. The town of Carlton Place, near Ottawa, Canada.
I think they pronounce it Ottawa.
Right, well, however they... I don't pronounce it. Ottawa.
Sorry.
You'd like me to reread that and say, the town of Carlton Place, near Ottawa, Canada.
Yeah, that's good.
I recently relived your original Dutton Surf episode and LOL'd at Michael saying he would look like a complete D''.
What do you think that word might be?
Dick?
Yep.
A complete dick arriving anywhere in it.
Do you know what LOL means?
Lots of love?
No, that's a common mistake. It means laugh out loud.
Oh,
so
right.
She laughed out loud when you described yourself as looking like a dick.
I must say that I think the same when I see Cybertrucks. I don't understand how one expects to be taken seriously arriving in one. I wonder what Michael has to say about this. I bet I can guess. Finally, Hilary, I am a swimmer too, and always enjoy your beach stories. Which is the most favourite beach you have been to? Mine is in Trinidad and Tobago, a beach called Stonehaven Bay. My husband and I got married there. Long, sandy, quiet, has a lovely spot to grab a cocktail. Perfection, you would love it. I hope you're both so well, and thank you so much for all the laughs and companionship over the years. Much love, Danielle.
I'm going to come on to beaches because I have made a little list here of beaches that I've been involved with. Cybertrucks. Michael, do you remember you actually rode in the goat of Cybertrucks in Fatherhood with My Father for Netflix with Jack? Do you remember that?
I don't.
That is the Tesla Cybertruck, which is the most ridiculous. I'm going to tell you what the one that Michael was in was called. Do you not remember Jack absolutely hijacking the conversation with the very sweet woman who was showing you the Cybertruck when he got obsessed with dogging? And she kept saying, oh, yeah, if you wanted to do dogging in LA, you could use the Cybertruck. She had no idea what dogging was. She thought it was to do with walking the dogs, etc.
Oh, yes.
And
I do remember that.
Resvani. Do you remember we had a lot of talk
yes.
about the Reg Varney?
Because I thought it was Reg Varney from
Vengeance.
On the Buses.
Yeah, the Res Varney, and it's called The Vengeance. Look at it.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember that lovely lady with all the hair?
Yes.
That Jack got very, very, or an overzealous dogger. Do you remember? And she said, "What is a dogger?" And Jack said, "We have them in England. They're just sort of enthusiasts for the great outdoors." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And she got very excited about dogging and kept referencing it, and you kept losing it in the back seat because she just would not leave dogging alone then. But that Res Varney Vengeance thing was ridiculous. It had not CS gas, but pepper spray came. You could get pepper spray coming out of the wing mirrors, and it had bulletproof glass, and it had a smoke thing that you could put on to get a quick getaway, and it was ridiculous. And when we drove in it down the highway between, I think we were in Newport Beach, and we drove down the coast in it. Everybody was looking and pointing. It was ridiculous, a ridiculous thing. There was a lot of talk about turning up for the school run in it. I mean, it certainly wouldn't have got on very well around here in Putney because it would have taken up the entire road. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of beaches I have loved, okay? Australia, Byron Bay, Neilson Park, the Gold Coast, Sumner Beach, I loved that one. Henley Beach in Adelaide, I particularly like because that's where I saw the dolphin. That was very exciting. Lovely beach too, Michael, when we were on our honeymoon, before we got into torrential rain and Scrabblegate, Bird Island.
Yes,
I've got a picture of you on Bird Island to die for.
Yeah. But I have to say, I've got a list here of beaches I have loved because...
You're looking at this camera here and showing the list there.
This is a list of beaches I have loved.
Yeah.
Because sadly, as you know, I can't swim.
No.
So beaches for me
don't feature.
Are a hell on earth. Dear Wittering Whitehalls, I was delighted to find your podcast, but was a bit late to the party. The upshot being I haven't run out of episodes yet, although I have lost any semblance of order in my listening. I was prompted to email after my wonderful grandma celebrated her 101st birthday, and I was reminded of a story about her. Being 101, she's lived her life in more innocent times. In her retirement, she was charged with making a wedding cake for her friend's daughter Viv and her fiancé David. My grandma set out her plans for the cake, but they were not met with the enthusiasm she'd expected. Someone had to have a quiet word to explain why a large love heart and a couple's initials VD might not be a great idea. So my question is, has your love of initialisms ever got either of you in trouble? Or Twitter hashtags, maybe? Here's looking at you at Susanal Bump Party.
I'll come back to that, yeah.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. That is literally the most famous hashtag situation. Because it's actually Susan Album Party. But if you read it a different way, it's Sue Anal Bum Party.
All right.
Was that deliberate? Or was it a mistake?
I would say
I'm sure it sold that album, that's for sure, because she became a global superstar. Well, we had a bit of a...
Keep up the good work.
Oh, sorry.
Hannah, a noodle, no ostensible order, DL.
It's a word I have not come across. PPJ, could you please look up ostensible? Do you know what ostensible means?
Stated or appearing to be true, but not necessarily so.
Ah, okay. There we go.
So that's Hannah.
We, of course, Michael, had a little bit of confusion on the IOW with WFH.
International Open Waters.
Which was a good try, given that we were on the Isle of Wight.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you see. And I got completely snarled up, deals, because what I had not appreciated when I booked the cottage in IOW.
International Open Waters.
Yeah, when we were in International Open Waters on the Isle of Wight, that both of the parents of our grandchildren, i.e. our daughter and son-in-law, were going to have to be WFH. What does WFH mean, Michael?
Wait for help.
Which was sort of right, because they were waiting for help so that they could work from home, Michael Whitehall.
Oh,
when it says work from home, the home happened to be the rented cottage that week. So who was on the beach in the grey, drizzly weather with the children? Oh, that'll be Gramsa then. And I kept saying to you, look, I'm really sorry that Molly and Toby are WFH. And you said, what, waiting for help? I said, yep, in a way they are waiting for help to work from home. It was interesting. We had to... Necessity was the mother of invention. I built so many racetracks, sandcastles. We went crabbing. We collected shells, all wrapped in swathes of fleece and toweling. And apart from Peggy, of course, who runs hot, she was trying to get her clothes off whilst we were all trying to get more clothes on. But Tally and I did sterling work on many mornings enabling WFH on the IOW because it was required. But I think that you've got yourself in some pickles with initialisms before now. I mean, you think that everything is LNER.
I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
LMS.
See?
London Midland Service.
The other one that I always used to love, of course, which you never got when I was trying to signal to you, which was FHB.
FHB.
It's a catering term, FHB. When you've catered for a nice party, and you've got FHB, you say to your family FHB. PPJ looking very quizzical.
I'm not gonna get there.
Family hold back.
Nice.
Yes.
Let the guests get in there.
Exactly. So
Nice.
do not tranche through the sausage rolls, leaving one for 15 guests. FHB. What about FTB? Again, meal related. You can see where my whole life is about catering. FTB. Any thoughts on FTB?
No.
Would you like a second helping? No, I'm FTB. Full to bursting.
Burst. There we are.
Full to bursting, Michael.
All right.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. A few new initialisms for you. Old school, really old school initialisms.
I don't know if this is true, but I have read it on the internet, and I hope it is. At one point, there was a company called PowerGen
Yes.
who bought an energy company in Italy, and they dubbed it PowerGen Italia.
Okay. PGI.
Just write that down all as one word, and you'll see where they fell down, because they bought the domain name for the website, meaning that's what you'd have to type in.
Oh, yes, I can see.
Power genitalia.
There we
got
are.
it.
Yes.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Okay, and they bought the domain name.
They had.
Bet people had fun with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just before we leave this topic, because it's going to be worth it, Michael has a collection of very odd random books that my brother has given him over the years. This is the little sort of joke that they have. I think you've got the manual of pig keeping and accountancy laws within the cobbling industry. And I mean, he finds these random books for you, doesn't he, which are very funny. And we have a whole collection of them. There's one which is a pamphlet that was given out by possibly even before the NHS was invented, but certainly early days of the NHS, which is about VD, and it's got a picture of Cobra on the front. It says VD on the cover. It definitely does what it says on the cover. I must get it out because it's a very dramatic cover. I'm going to have to try and find it now. On that subject, he also gave me, when I was working as a postnatal doula, which is somebody who looks after new mummies with babies, he managed to find and source sort of old mother manuals from various NHS sources, which are actually very interesting to read, the difference in how babies were brought up back in the day. I mean, we're talking probably 50s, 60s. I found a baby milk tin when we were clearing out my parents' house, which had some old tin soldiers in it. And on the packaging, it said 1 spoon of formula to 1 spoon of sugar, teaspoon of sugar to 1 ounce of water. So for every spoon of milk formula, you put a spoon of sugar. I mean, no wonder we all had rotted teeth.
Dear H.M., PPJ, P and W.
Is this the moment for me to actually, because we're on initialisms, is this the moment for me to say to everybody, much as I absolutely adore the fact that you include Philly in all of this, I'm so excited that you do, because we love Philly, who's currently on a little rural break with my nephew. Although you may think she's named after Philadelphia cheese because she's white, she's actually named after Philbert the Fox, who is the Mighty Foxes, Leicester City Football Club's mascot, which is spelt with an F. Just going to point that out. It might change the initialism.
Even
somewhat.
I didn't know that.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Right. So we'll now have to read, for future reference, DLs. Sorry, I'm a pedant. H, M, P, P, J, F, and W.
So for all you people watching and listening,
yes,
and following,
yes,
our podcast,
yes,
on the basis of learning stuff,
yes,
you've just learned something now that you will treasure for the rest of your life. I'm finally writing an email that I've wanted to send for ages now, but because I'm a serial procrastinator, haven't. That's a separate issue, but earns me my chosen DL signature, Apiodol.
Apiodol, nice.
Apiodol.
Apiodol.
APIODL, or always putting it off, dear listener.
Love it. How was your pronunciation? Apiodil.
Apiodol.
Apiodol.
Maybe?
Yeah, Apiodol.
Apiodol.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah, Apiodol.
Apiodol.
Yeah.
The reason for this email is to tell you about my dad. He's a creature of habit who likes what he likes and loathes pretty much everything else.
Excuse me, it sounds like you two were separated at birth.
Ham sandwiches? Big yes.
Yep.
Long conversations about feelings? major no-go.
Does that sound familiar, Michael Whitehall? I mean, this could literally be your clone.
What I find particularly funny are his reactions to news stories about food and drink and the various health benefits or risks. We're always hearing that red wine is good for this, that, and the other.
This, that, and the other, I think, is how that should be read.
Remember again that I haven't read these before, Beb. I'm coming to them fresh.
Diaz, for clarity.
Due to pressure of work.
For clarity, he had these last night. I put them on his bedside table when he was going to bed, and I said, there are the emails.
Instead of sleeping last night, I should have read these emails.
Has to be said, we did have a big day yesterday.
We're always hearing that red wine is good for this, that, and the other.
Yes!
But then suddenly, 6 months later, it's bad again. 1 minute, we should all be eating steak because it's good for iron. The next, it's giving us all cancer. What to do? The reason it's so funny with my dad is he takes it personally.
Oh my God, he really is like you.
It's as though the scientists have looked at all the things he likes and have plotted to uncover research to make him guilty about enjoying it. He loves fish and for years has congratulated himself for being so health conscious. But recent news stories about the quality and provenance of the fish he eats fired him right up. It made me think of him when you said that Michael will often shout at the news. So does my dad. Anyway, I hope my email gets picked, as hearing my words on my favourite podcast would be a great treat. All the best to you and the family.
/team.
Kayla.
The one thing I can't do now, Deals, is I cannot watch football with Michael on the television. Oh my God. The railing and ranting and shouting that goes on, from the fact that the commentator doesn't shut up, the fact that the commentator always knows best, Andy Hinchcliffe, particular favourite.
Oh.
See what I mean?
Terrible. I mean, he was never much of a footballer, but now when he does his commentaries, I mean, he's all sort of, oh, what was that all about?
Yeah,
I mean, that was the most terrible kick. I mean, what does he think he's doing? I mean, it's unbelievable that he kicked the ball like that. I mean, he must be. I mean, I'm amazed he's playing at all in that team. And you think, shut up, Andy. Stop being so rude about this poor man.
He's doing
when you
his
look
best.
back on your career, it was,
yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
Andy Hinchcliffe, ditto Alan Smith, who drives you mad.
Oh,
how did he get that job?
voice.
How does he keep that job?
How did he keep? He got that job 10, 15 years ago.
Still
Nobody
doing
knows
it.
who he is.
Sorry, he won many trophies with Arsenal.
How long ago?
25 years ago, maybe?
25 years
30 years ago. Yeah.
There he is now.
The other one, Gary Neville.
Oh. Anyway.
Also, there's a Liverpool player that drives you mad as well, who commentates. And also the referees. Oh my God. They get it in the neck from you as well. But I mean, that's standard with football watchers. The other thing that drives you mad, Michael, is the inclusion of places in the Cotswolds that are not in the Cotswolds. Yes. Oh my goodness, this is a real trigger for you.
I mean, all these places that aren't in the Cotswolds.
Like the Soho Farmhouse, for instance.
The Cotswolds is the place to be, and, you know, the Soho Farmhouse, which
we're
Cotswolds. Members of, and we go, and it's very nice. You know, there it is, and Cotswolds.
The heart of the Cotswolds.
The heart of the Cotswolds. Not only is it not in the heart of the Cotswolds, it's not in the Cotswolds at all. They just make it up.
Ditto, David Beckham, it always says from his Cotswolds mansion, Bolthole.
Because he lives next door to
the farmhouse. It's not in the Cotswolds.
It's not in the Cotswolds. He knows it isn't.
Yeah.
We know it isn't.
Yeah.
But there it is, from his Cotswolds hole. Bolthole.
Yeah, as opposed to the Banbury Bolthole, which I've never claimed was in the Cotswolds.
No.
I've always claimed that we're Cotswolds adjacent.
Yes.
Have we not? Now, if you're Cotswolds adjacent, you've got to work harder on your property, is all I'm going to say, because as we speak, Michael Whitehall, what are we doing at the Banbury Bolt Hall? We are completing a job that was started many years ago.
Yes, we're turning a cupboard into an ensuite shower room.
Yep. Now, this has a slightly sad tinge to it, this tale, because a death was involved, was it not, Michael?
When we first moved to the Banbury Bolt Hole, I mean, literally...
The few weeks... Well, there was a problem with the Banbury Bolt Hole, wasn't there? And that was a paucity of, I'm sorry to use this word, toilets.
Yes.
Would you like to say what happened with the toilet situation?
No, I can't remember.
There was one toilet.
Oh, yes, there was.
On the floor to service 5 bedrooms.
Yes, it was a bit, it was toiletless.
It was toilet light.
Yes, toilet light.
So I inherited the plumber from the previous owner and asked him to put in more toilets. Do you remember?
He's extremely nice and very, very charming man.
Yeah, very sweet.
Who we met and talked to, and then he came and...
We had a toilet survey.
We had a survey, then he came and gave us an estimate, and then we talked about...
Worked out the soil pipage.
Dates, we worked out costs and all that, all beautifully done. And I said to Hilary, it's so nice that we've got somebody, up the road,
reliable,
who understands
charming,
us,
intelligent,
is charming and intelligent.
Yeah. So he came and put in 2 toilets, and I then said to him, having thought about it logically, because this is how I think, dears.
And we've already told the story about the fact that the reason that there were no toilets in the bathrooms.
Can you know? Sorry, PPJ. Just to say, DR's PPJ. He's used the word toilet more than... I mean, it's got to be at least a dozen times now.
He may combust.
He may combust.
But the reason for the lack of toilets is because the previous owner said the reason that there are no toilets
in any of the bathrooms
is because if I'm having a bath, I do not want people coming in and having a dump or a wee. I mean, I just don't want that.
It's very unhygienic.
Would you want that, Michael? And I said, no, I wouldn't want it either. But
have you ever
I
heard
don't
of
know
a lock?
anyone who would come in to my bathroom while I was in there having a bath and would sit down on the lavatory and have a dump. It's just unlikely.
Funny enough, I do know someone. I know 2 people who've
apart
done that
from
to me.
family.
Yeah,
you were thinking of Jack Whitehall.
And Barnaby Whitehall, yes, exactly. Who in their teens were known to have done that when I have been in the bath.
Yeah, that's appalling.
Yes, it is appalling. They always claimed that it was a bit of a mistake, that it started as a wee and then turned into something else, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway, that is a habit long gone.
Yes.
They would not do that now.
But when you use the word people too, people coming into the bathroom while I'm having a bath and having a dump, who were these people, I thought? But he clearly had
I did say to him, have you ever heard of the word lock?
Yes.
Or latch on a bathroom? Anyway, we put... Not that I mean, there are 2 bathrooms up there, so we put loos into both bathrooms. I then worked out that the cupboard in the bedroom next door was literally abutting our bathroom where we were putting a loo in. And I said, well, if you're putting a loo in that side, could you put a loo in that cupboard and a sink and a shower? And he said, I could.
2 loos.
2 loos. So we had 2 back-to-back 2 loos.
Yeah.
Toulouse-Lautrec. And so he put the loo in, put the sink in, and then he said, I'll be back next week to put the shower in. And very tragically and very unexpectedly, he actually had a heart attack and died. Do you remember?
I mean, literally.
We were literally devastated. He was such a nice man.
And he looked very fit and well.
He was actually cycling when it happened.
And he was cycling.
Yeah.
And he had a heart attack and died.
So I then shelved the whole shower situation. So we basically had a cupboard that had a loo and a sink in it. Right, well, I've revisited this because Michael Whitehall spends his whole life banging on about the fact that if you've got a house in the Cotswolds, or in our case, Cotswolds adjacent, so we have to work harder, The only thing that people want when they're buying properties is
ensuite bathrooms in every room.
Yeah.
Every room has its own bathroom or shower available exclusively to it.
Yeah.
We have a friend who sold his house recently, which I thought was sort of pretty near Birmingham. It was so Midlands. And he called it Edge of Cotswolds.
Who was that?
I'm not going to mention his name because he's quite famous.
Okay.
Edge of Cotswolds.
Cotswolds.
I thought,
Okay.
come on.
Yeah.
Edge of Birmingham, maybe. But presumably that wouldn't have the same ring.
No.
Stone's throw from.
Yeah.
Yes. It is a very weird shape, the Cotswolds, because it's got these 3 fingers at the top of it that sort of splay out. And so lots of places that you wouldn't expect to be in the Cotswolds are technically in the Cotswolds. But sadly, we are not.
And
on
who
one of those
decided
things.
which was which in the fingers and all that?
I have absolutely no idea, Michael Whitehall.
Neil Stacey would know.
Yeah, Neil Stacey. If we had more time this morning, we could ring Neil, but we're
would
getting to the end
know
of the ep now.
how that
To be
whole
revisited. Are
thing-
you writing this down, PPJ? Because we need all these things revisited. I keep saying to be revisited. One was... No, I don't know.
I've got them.
You've got them because that is how you roll, PPJ. I think we should be thinking about wrapping up, don't you? Other than that, I'd quite like to meet Kayla's father and introduce him to his twin, his long-lost twin, Michael Whitehall. Boy, that would be worth watching. I'd love to see them watching the news together. Do you remember somebody actually asked us? A DL actually emailed in. Do you remember, Michael? And said it would be really funny to have Michael Cam watching the television, like your own personal goggle box. Anyway, you would. I'm just here to tell you, if you lived with it all the time, you would not want Michael Cam. It's exhausting. Exhausting. What were we watching last night that you couldn't get to grips with? And we ended up watching Fawlty Towers. I can't remember now. Something that was got really, really rattled your cage, and I thought I can't cope with this. Anyway, enough.
But Fawlty Towers we watched.
We did enough.
Always reliable.
Always reliable. Probably could do Fawlty Towers between us because we know all the lines. This wine is corked. Yes, I've just opened it. That was the episode we watched last night with your ex. Was he a client, Jimmy Cousins?
He was.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
What were we doing the other day? Oh yes, we did somebody else. We did the Problematic Gays podcast. Do you remember? And we did the Avengers. And we were going through the top 10 television programs from 1965. And we set ourselves a challenge to find... I was on IMDb. We set ourselves a challenge to find a client in every one of the top 10 of the 1965 TV chart. Obviously, the quiz shows or reality shows you didn't, but we managed to find lower down in the cast lists a client in every show.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, actually. It was interesting looking at the Avengers, which I'd forgotten was quite so stylized and 60s with ridiculous plots.
Quite unbelievable.
Quite unbelievable.
But then it wasn't meant to be believable.
No, I'd
really.
forgotten how like The Prisoner it was. It was very
Yes,
stylized
it was
and very 60s, but quite interesting.
Strange.
Quite interesting to relook at it. Anyway, if you want to know, but if you want to look at old programs and see what the problems are with them now, or old films, check out the Problematic Gays because they have a very interesting take on revisiting things, and I dip in and out to check out what they say about things. It's very interesting. Right, we're going to go, Michael Whitehall.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back on Thursday with the bonus ep. Until then, please do what you do. You know what to do. Rate, review, share, subscribe, tell your friends, follow the show. Please email in, because you are the beating heart of the podcast, and there would be no podcast without the emails. And please also, Michael Whitehall, you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Drums?
Well, I don't actually term them drums, do I? What do I say?
Brushes.
Brushes, please.
Brushes. Yeah,
thank
okay.
you, PPJ.
Right. You ready?
Yep. 07712 147 I didn't
Do you want to do that again?
You made me laugh.
I'm sure there are more drums and cymbals on that kit than when he first played it.
It's an expanded kit. We're going to go again. Ready? 07712 147 236.
That's the one.
Oh dear. Right. Little things, please, little minds. Please remember, get some tickets for the Wittering Whitehalls Barely Alive. I promise you, there's some treats in store. Back on Thursday. See you then. Hear you then. Be in your company then. I'm going to say farewell.
And I'm going to say au revoir.